Hello, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at how to develop your negotiation strategy, ranging from outlining ideas, testing them for credibility, and identifying those win-win options that are suitable for both parties. So let's start. So the first thing I want you to do is to work out what is it that you actually want in your negotiation outcome. Because a lot of times people go into negotiation without having an understanding what they really want, whether it's a larger payment term, whether it's a lower price point, whether it's a larger warranty, whether it's lower quantity of order but a higher premium spec, whatever it may be. You need to figure out what is it you want for your business or for personal side. If you're looking at salary negotiation, you might want to say, well, I want more holiday, I want more training courses paid for, I want shorter hours, I want flexible hours, etc., etc., etc. What you need to understand is what is it that you want for you and your business. Now, the other thing you need to consider is what is it they want? It's all well and good to say, well, this is what I want, but what is it that they want that you can provide for them? Whether it's monetary value, whether it's flexible working, whether it's kind of specific type of contract. For example, if they are worried about performance issues for a subcontractor, you might say, well, fine, what we'll do, we'll set up a contract in such a way that if the client is happy, if you are happy, therefore will be contingency based fees. So therefore, I guarantee my great performance. If I hit those markers, then I will get the rewards for my efforts. Very important to understand that. What is it the other side wants? And then you need to craft your message into what looks good for them. Now, at this stage, all we're doing is just identifying what is it that you want, what is it they want. Don't necessarily worry about, oh, well, they won't go for that, or, oh, no, I won't ever get that. Just at this stage, just write down what is it that you want. It might be a good idea right now to pause the video and write it down yourself if you're currently preparing for a quick negotiation, or keep watching further. So now you've got your ideas list or ideal outcomes. You might want to check that, your wants versus reality. The first thing you need to do is, are your wants credible? For example, somebody might want a salary increase by 200%, but is that credible? No, it isn't. However, if somebody might want a salary increase by 20% because they've been doing X, Y, Z, now that might be applicable, where you can demonstrate, well, this is the work you've been doing, this is the experience that you have, and this is what effectively is happening within the organization. Then you can start to negotiate with your current employer, or equally, if it's a commercial element, if you're looking at a business, you might say, well, I want to reduce the price by X. Is that credible? What are your other competitors offering? Have you done some analysis? Have you done some costings, etc., etc., etc.? So it's important to understand, are your ideas or your wants credible? Do you have evidence of such? Do you have supporting evidence to argue your case? Whether it's a third party, for example, if somebody's selling a car, they might go to a Blue Book or Auto Trader to go see what the relevant cars and products are, and gives you that external evidence to support your case. It might be supporting their case. A quick example I can give you: when I was working in the industry, one of my employees came to me and said, well, look, and I'm looking to have a salary increase. Well, first thing I said is, okay, great, come back to me with a proposal of why I should increase the salary. Now, at that particular moment in time, I've received a magazine from operations, which looked at salaries across the procurement and supply chains. And then I saw that the employee that was working for me had or was receiving a average salary for that particular position. Their point of view, when they came back to me, they said, well, actually, no, I don't believe I'm earning a reasonable wage, but actually not really offering me anything new. When I came back and said, look, this is industry standard, and you're right bang down in the middle of where you should be. So it quickly shut down an argument of trying to increase their salary just by, well, because I think I should be getting more. Does your research support your arguments? So, you might want to look at other sources rather than internet, rather than Blue Book, or are there any other analysts, or are there any other um, elements that you can pick up on, within your organization potentially. Your engineers might talk to you. Your engineers might give you more insight. If it's a supporting contract, your engineers might be talking to each other all the time. And it's very important to make sure that all your wants are backed up by certain evidence that gives you credibility. So you don't look like you're just plugging figures out of the air when you're quoting numbers, or in commercial terms, where you know that a particular supplier offers X amount warranty, or a particular supplier offers such payment terms, or an example. Some suppliers know that certain companies they say that they pay within 30 days, but actually they pay within 90 days because the invoices aren't approved earlier on. So when there are evidence on the internet, or through other whispers in the marketplace, where you know that particular supplier or that particular client is not going to be paying you that well, or that quickly rather, within a certain time frame. So you might want to put that into your contract or in a negotiation table to make sure that that particular clause is in the contract. Now, once you've kind of gone through the research element of it, and reality checking, what gaps do you have? Where are issues where you want to explore further, where you have very little information on? Maybe you want to ask them. It's at this stage, it's just a kind of all-round exercise to find those win-win solutions really that work for everyone. So how do you develop your strategy? Well, you need to work out what your breakpoints are. What is the lowest you're willing to accept? It's very important that you don't go beyond that. And a lot of times people say, well, that's my lowest offer. But actually, the real lowest offer is further down the line. You need to be firm what your actual lowest point is. You need to document that and write that down. So therefore, when you're negotiating, you've got that figure straight in your head, and you know why that's the lowest point that you have. So estimate your win points. Okay, so you could say, well, I might get this particular product for X price, or I might get X price, but also I'll have extended warranty, or I'll have extended payment terms, or whatever it may be that you're looking for. Kind of aim high for your win points with credibility, because you've got evidence from previous slides and previous research to suggest that you can back those facts up. So once you've done that, you can start to look for, are there any mutual win-wins? For example, it might be that you want their marketing rights, that for to advertise that you're working with this great company, and you want to be publishing on your website, in other forums, etc., etc. So, are there any win-wins for you both that you can work from? Because it's very easily identifiable once you've gone through the previous exercise. You can see what they want, you can see what you want, and what are the tradables that are fairly easy for you to give away and for them to accept. One thing I'd say is that be prepared to be flexible. Negotiations aren't necessarily written in stone. When you go in, you might have a certain outcome placed in your head, but actually sometimes they come back to you and say, well, this is what's happening, or these are the changes within our business, so therefore it changes the game completely. So you have to be flexible of what they tell you. Yes, strategy is there as a guidance, but be flexible to what they're telling you. Having said that, don't be too flexible. Follow your strategy, because a lot of times people have the strategy, but then emotions get in the way and the strategy goes out the window. So don't deviate from it too far out, because otherwise you'll find yourself in a position where you think, well, why did I accept that, or why did I do that? It's important to make sure you follow the strategy, because it was there for a reason. When you weren't affected by emotions, when you weren't affected by fear, etc., etc., that's what you thought was a good logical outcome to your position. So follow the strategy to get what you want. Well, I hope you found this particular video useful. If you did so, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.